Hey guys, before we go bananas with Elvin Brito, let's thank our sponsor, N Still Nutrition. Guys, check out their website at nstillnutrition.com. They have some of the best supplements in the game. Guys, if it's good enough for Alex Martin Nicholson, SD Dumas, the unremarkable Kobe Shields, Brock Weaver, and Elvin our man Brito, guys, it's good enough for you. Check out N Still Nutrition at nstillnutrition.com. Guys, what's up? Before Elvin was about to call in, I had my main man, the professor, call in, and I got to give him the mic. Hey, John, brother, take it away.
What's up, man? Yo, hey, if you haven't seen a BKFC event live, you got to. I was able to see it. The main event of Paulie Malignaggi, Artem Lobov. Elvin Brito's a hell of a fighter. He's going to put on a show every time he's in there. But if you haven't seen a BKFC event, you need to go check it out. They're going to be all over Florida. It's going to be awesome. Get it, go after it, watch it. Toe the line. Let's rock.
Wow, toe the line. John, if you were in charge and you were sitting in the room with David Feldman and it's 2020 now, there's one thing I want to change, one little thing I want to tinker with, what would that be for BFC?
Let's get a scoreboard. A lot of knockouts happen faster, but what's wrong with a scoreboard in every combat sport, right? What's wrong with it? You know, that Paulie Malignaggi, Artem Lobov fight would have been a little bit more, I think, active near the end if they would have known who was winning and who was losing. You know what I mean? And so I'm all about the scoreboard for the fight sports now, Dave. You have converted me over 1,000%. I'm all about the scoreboard.
And that's why they call him the professor. Thank you so much, John Rafferman. We're going to talk in a minute. We got this weekend's amazing UFC event. Conor, Cowboy. Real quick. We got 8 seconds prediction. Conor, Cowboy, go.
Knockout first round, Conor, as long as Cowboy doesn't take it to the ground.
Professor, have a great day. We'll talk to you in a minute, my brother. All right, guys, here we go on the Fight Bananas Hotline. Bare Knuckle FC. Big 2020 coming up for my main man, El Bandido, Elvin Brito. How you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How you doing?
Man, we're doing good, man. We're doing good. We're busy. How about you? How's life going?
Good, man. It's just busy. You know, it took a long time to kind of get everything situated out here. Now we're kind of going. We got our business going. We got our animals. You know, we got our training back on how it's supposed to be. So it's looking good for this year.
That's awesome, man.
Hoping for a lot of work and a lot of fights, you know.
Right. I know you like to be an active fighter. If the 2020 just kind of went perfect, went Elvin's way every way, how many fights would you have? How many fights would you participate this year?
I mean, if things went perfect, I would love to finish this tournament, be 3 fights, and at least one MMA fight for the year's over. You know?
Ooh, really? You do want to get back in the cage?
Yeah, I want to get back in the cage.
Okay.
I still got some MMA fights left in me. You know, I'm focused with this bare knuckle fight. It's a different kind of approach, a different kind of fight. So
right.
But I love mixed martial arts. I love all the different aspects of it. You know how intricate it is, and
yes, sir.
You know, it's how I started. And you're definitely gonna see me back in the cage soon. Obviously, like right now, this bare knuckle stuff takes priority because that's what's in front of me right now on the table. But yeah, we're looking forward to some MMA. We're looking to do some local fights and then possibly be up there with, at Island Fights. You know, we had talked to Dean.
Okay.
Might have us come out there.
Okay. Wow, there's 2 levels I want to take it. Let's just stick right here with the bare knuckle. Let's stick with this tournament. You and I talked a couple weeks ago, and something was brewing, and then boom, a humongous fight for you, a humongous tournament. You got all the big names are in this tournament. Winner wins it all, wins the money, wins the 155 crown. How do you feel? First to start February 15th, and then just taking it from there.
Yeah, I mean February 15th, I got. First round against Luis Palomino. He's a game opponent. The guy's been around for longer than me. He's been around for a long time. He's fought in Miami. He fought with me in CFA a couple years back, and he's from down there. His team's up. So it's a huge statement for me. It's going to be a big win for me coming into this tournament, kind of put me back on there on the board. So. It's a great way to get back into this fray, get back into the fights.
Right. And it's just, for one, Bare Knuckle FC is just on fire. It's unbelievable. As a company, as an organization, it's just, I think their 2019 was even better than what they thought. And they're already starting it off with a bang with 2020, kind of this tournament. A lot of big names in the whole
they're
organization.
picking up guys.
Right. And there you go. And then they're picking up more guys to main event that card. There's Hector Lombard versus Joe Riggs. Like, that's a sick fight. That's a you know what I mean? So how is it, how does it feel for you? That's the umbrella that you're under. You feel that Bare Knuckle FC just keeps on picking up the steam, picking up more fighters and fighters. How does it feel that you're a part of that momentum?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. I mean, we're just glad we got in early. We were in BKFC 3. We had an awesome performance coming right off the bat. We definitely, it fits our style. So we're just excited that we got the opportunity to do this fight. And then, we keep getting called back, and, they like what we bring to the table. So we just keep trying giving them more of what we do,
Yes, sir. You do.
Exciting fights.
You are. You're one of the most exciting fighters. That was one of the things I actually had later on. Just we'll get into that. But real quick, we're on the Bare Knuckle FC. They just keep on bringing in names. We just mentioned Hector. Last event, the main event was Gabriel Gonzalez versus Bigfoot Silva. Like, that's just a once in a lifetime. You see Vanderlei there at almost every event. If you were sitting down with David Feldman and he asked you, goes, "Hey, Elvin, name me someone else that we should bring in for the spring or summer of 2020. Who would you throw at him?"
Oh, man.
We bring in the heat, baby.
Oh, man. There's so many people that would be great for Bare Knuckle, man. Off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know right off the top of my head, but, I mean, there's so many guys. There's a couple guys coming off the UFC that would do great, too. I mean, I couldn't think about one specific person on the top of my head, but
right.
I mean, BKFC is doing such a great job picking up guys, so I'm sure that they don't need my advice. But
yeah, you know what I thought of too, and I love heavyweights. Bare Knuckle FC, the heavyweights they bring a whole other dimension.
Oh, yeah.
With gloves, it's one punch power. Bare Knuckle, that's a whole other story. And someone you probably know and maybe even fight on the same card of. How about like a guy like Dylan Klecker? Fights for Island Fights all the time down there in that area. How about him in Bare Knuckle FC?
Hey, that'd be interesting. Heavy hitters.
Yes, yeah, that
it's
would
always
be insane.
different with no gloves.
Oh my gosh, it's insane. I give you guys all the credit in the world, but it seems like I just talked to Joan. I talked to 3-4 fighters in the last month or two in Bare Knuckle, and they like it. They like how it feels. They feel like they're taking less damage. They feel better after the fight. Are you one of those as well? Or are you like I know it sounds.
Yeah, I mean you feel the recovery is a little bit different. You feel raw after the fights, but I mean, yeah, it's a different kind of abuse. I mean, and mixed martial arts, you take a beating in training and the fight and everything. I mean, Bare Knuckle, it can get pretty ugly, but it doesn't take much to put somebody out. So you're not taking like a cumulative damage like you would in like a 12-round boxing match or a championship MMA fight. It happens fast. So you've been there. You know how fast these fights happen. And,
yes, sir.
So you don't get a chance to accumulate a lot of damage, but I mean, you can get some really nasty injuries in there too. I mean, it's fighting, so anything could happen. It is a different feel, and you get a different thrill. It's like we're all amateurs again, and I know it's kind of a different sensation for all of us. We all it's like a way for us to kind of fall in love in fighting it because it feels so new,
Wow.
So I know there's a certain allure. Most of the guys that I know that's pretty much how they feel. It's like almost like the first fight jitters again, and it's different. It's almost like we started over again.
Wow.
It's a different kind of feel because it's a different sport, and
it is.
The fight can end, one punch can end the fight for either fighters at any moment,
Right. It's more, of course you want to attack the body as well, but it's more of, in MMA you got to plan ahead, you got to plan rounds ahead, you got to plan, hey, should I work on the leg, body? Bare Knuckle sometimes it's like, what shot can I get off to go? Yes. Man, you started your professional career in 2009. We already went through a decade. We're now in 2020. Do you think all this experience that you had, all these big fights, all these big names, it's making you ready for this opportunity? We're in 2020, 155-pound tournament. The crown is on the line. Do you think all this has got you to this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I've fought like some of the best competition around. I've won and lost against some of the best guys around. I've been fighting, at a pretty good stage, at pretty good high level of competition, and it's just we feel ready. We've fought all types of guys, very dangerous guys, and like. I'm just ready to fight anybody. There's not anybody that I wouldn't take to fight in Bare Knuckle because, I feel like we're perfectly suited for it. And, I definitely, I definitely feel prepared. I'm an experienced fighter. So, it helps to have all that experience under your belt.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say, yeah, it helps.
Wow. Okay. A little story time, guys. We're talking with Elvin Brito. It was December 2018. Island Fights 51. Dana White was supposed to be in the building. Dean White put on a card of a lifetime. This card is, if you look back at the poster, you just go, oh wow, UFC, Bare Knuckle FC, Bare Knuckle Titan. It's bananas, right? So Mike Davis, Beast Boy Davis, UFC fighter, was supposed to be in the main event versus Socrates Pierre. And the fight game happens. You know the fight game more than anyone else. The fight game happens. You're on the card. Socrates couldn't make weight, and that happens. And Socrates Pierre is such a warrior. So if something happened, it's a real deal. And you stepped up. You stepped up on what, minutes? we were at the weight. You know what I mean? The weigh-ins were literally going on live. And I was in the building. People were going back and forth, and boom, Dean Toole comes to you and says, "Hey, you want to main event the card with Mike Beast Boy Davis?" And you did not stutter, didn't flinch. What weight class? You didn't give a crap. You just said yes.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yes. So
we came to fight. We came to fight, and we weren't going to fight. I wasn't going to fight. Mike wasn't going to fight. We both lost our opponents. Both our opponents actually got sick making weight. So we weren't going to have a fight, and the card was falling apart. Dean asked me to step up. I told him, hey, I'll take the fight. I'm not ready for a title fight. I was, and it's no disrespect to my opponents. I'm obviously got to take all the opponents seriously, but I was getting ready for a certain fighter.
Right.
It definitely wasn't the quality of fighter as Mike Davis.
Yes, sir.
But we was ready to fight. I can't turn down an opportunity. We got the opportunity in front of us, and we didn't want to go home without a fight. I'm like, I have to fight. Especially when you go through a long training camp, we deal with injuries and stuff like that. You're like, we got to fight, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So I got a lot of respect for Mike. He's done a lot. He's a young fighter, and it was a great opportunity for him. Like, hey, I can't turn down an opponent. We've been fighting. We don't turn down opponents. We fight anybody they put in front of us. So this is just another one of those things where, like, hey, either take this fight or just go home, and we never just want to go home empty-handed. So we went ahead and took the fight with Mike. I gave him a good fight, till I got tired, and Mike, he's a world-class athlete. He didn't slow down. So when I started slowing down, he started turning up on me. It was a great fight.
It was. I was
great fight.
I was ringside, Elvin. And then, with everything being kind of flipped upside down, they didn't know what to expect. And you guys went to war it was like 17, 18 minutes. You guys both rounds, and then it was in the third round, like you said. It looked like just to be blunt, it looked like you kind of just got a little tired, a little gassed out a little bit.
Yeah.
Right.
And, as soon as I was doing good, I've always been an evasive fighter. I'm hard to hit.
Yes, sir.
I was moving good, being evasive, and as soon as I slowed down a little bit, Mike just turned it up on me because Mike, he was ready for 5 rounds. So
he was.
I noticed that I was doing well until the moment that I started slowing down. And then Mike just kept, he was doing his thing. All power to him. He's a great fighter. So he definitely won that fight that night. It was a great fight, though. We didn't, I've never been a pushover. We always bring the heat. So it was definitely, it was an awesome fight.
It was awesome. It was awesome. It was honored to be there live. It was a great event, great fight. And then I was just looking through it. Island fights, right? Like you fought Brock Weaver. Island fights Socrates Pierre. Island fights Max Mustaki. Jacob Killer Kilburn and Mike Davis. Like, these are 5 names. These are, buzzworthy, hot names. You got 3 UFC fighters in there. You have 2 guys right on the cups of UFC, like, big time. You and Island Fights have had some of the best fights, in the game. How's your relationship with that organization and Dean Toole? You talked about him earlier. That's great stuff. Those 5 fights right there, that's pay-per-view level stuff right there.
Yeah. They were all awesome fights too. I had a lot of fighting nights. Dean, ever since I met Dean, he's always been very cordial, very professional. He loves the fight game. That's one thing that helps him as a professional. Like, he loves the fighters. He loves the fight game. He loves being in it. I got a good relationship with Dean. Me and him talk all the time. I haven't talked to him in a while, but we call each other every once in a while. I'm proud of him. He's done a lot of work for Pensacola area, for all the fighters, the local fighters, because no matter how much you train, or how good you are. You know, if you don't have a platform, you're not going to be able to showcase your skills. You know, so he's been able to give a lot of guys like me the opportunity to show the world what we got. You know, and he's been able. You know, he's got a lot of names on his belt. He's put a lot of guys in a lot of good spots. You know, including me. He got me the BKFC fight. So
wow,
I got to thank him for that.
There you go. Wow. How funny is this that on the same night as you, February 15th, that's a hot night in mixed martial arts.
Brock is fighting. Yeah.
Yes, sir. There you go. You know where I was going with that. Brock Weaver just on the show last week on Fight Bananas. He's making his UFC debut, his unbelievable Dana White Contender Series win and speech. But if the people don't know, I'm going to bring it to light a little bit. 2015 Island Fights 33, you versus Brock, you took home the victory that night. It just... A lot of people don't know that. That's what I mean. Like, if you look up your lineup, you're fighting the hottest guys in the sport, bare knuckle and in the UFC, and a lot of them, you're just getting wins. You're going back and forth with the best guys in the game. I would love for you to talk about your victory against Brock Weaver at Island Fights 33.
I mean, yeah, Brock Weaver, he's an awesome fighter, you know, and what I was saying before is, like, you know, he was just a kid when I fought him. He's 22, 23. You know, he's grown a lot as a person and as a fighter since I fought him, you know. I've enjoyed watching his trajectory, him growing up in the sport, you know. And that night, it was just my night, you know. I'm one of those guys. I'm hard to hit, and if I can get you sucked into just chasing me around, that's my game. You start chasing me, I'm just gonna light you up, you know, because I'm moving and punching, and I was able to just kind of get him chasing me, you know, for the fight. And you know, we never touched the ground. It was almost a bare knuckle fight. You know, we didn't touch the ground. We were boxing it out most of the time, and I was just able to edge out a win, just using my corners, cutting the corners, you know, using my jab, using my leg kicks, and I was just able to just stay one step ahead of him the whole time, you know. And it was not to like front or anything, but it was a relatively easy win. You know, I didn't take much damage. You know, I was able to use my counter punches and my technique well, and I didn't, you know, I barely took any damage. But like I said, he's grown a lot since we fought, you know, and I'm looking forward to see how well he does in the UFC. You know, I'm cheering for Brock. He's a good guy. Right.
And he puts that community, that panhandle, he really puts that on his shoulders. You know, he's really proud from where he comes from. You know, he really puts up the Island Fights banner up a lot too. So yeah, that's a big fight. That's a big night for you guys. A big night, even just for the whole community.
For sure. You know, and Brock, I remember talking to Brock after we fought, you know, and he was like, man, I don't know if this MMA stuff is for me. I was like, bro, I mean, you got all the tools you need to be a champion, you know. I'm like, all you got to do is keep going, you know.
Wow, that's cool to hear, man.
That's pretty much what he's done, you know. All he did was keep going, and he's made it a long way, you know.
Yeah, he has. UFC, can't wait. February 15th, his first fight. But one of the last things I want to get with you on, and then we'll talk about bare knuckle to wrap it up, is we've been talking about this, so now it's been 2 years here on the show. And I remember Island Fights 48, you versus Jacob Killer Kilburn. You know, I remember how distraught or how angry, if maybe that's the right word, that you were with the decision, right? I remember you were just... you were not pleased. Let's just be honest about it. You were not pleased.
I was pretty pissed.
We've been saying it forever. Elvin, what do you think? You know, soccer, basketball, baseball, every sport in the world has a scoreboard. I'm not talking about changing the score up, but after round one, Elvin, if you saw, wow, they had Jacob winning that would maybe change your mindset of the game. Would you be, you know, would you love MMA Scoreboard to be introduced to the game?
The scoreboard, I mean, it wouldn't be, if it's not a bad idea, I just wouldn't, you know, I just be worried about it influencing the other judges or something like that, you know, because then the other judges will be able to see what they scored too, you know.
Right.
So it might affect the judgment of some of the, I don't know if it would be positive or negative or there would be like a certain level of just, well, what do you say, where you just conformity, you know, and having the judge kind of, you know?
No,
I don't know.
That's a good point. I've never heard that before, Elvin. But just a rebuttal, sometimes the judges need help. Bad.
I mean, when I fought Jacob, and Jacob's awesome. You know, Jason's a cool dude. I mean, Jacob's a cool dude. I like Jacob. But, like, I knocked him down twice with punches in the first round, you know? And I lost 30-27 on all the cards. You know, so that's one of the main reasons we're so mad. I was like, we got knockdowns with punches. Like, how did we lose? You know, and we were relatively unhurt after that fight. You were there at that fight, so you know that we weren't hurt after the fight. So I think, I mean, the only way to see how it would work would be to test it out.
Right.
I know. Yeah, that would be the only way to. I mean, I would totally not be against trying it out. And like you said, that would definitely, if anything, it would help the fighters, because the fighters would be able to look up at the scoreboard and be like, I'm fucking losing. I need to go.
Right. Exactly. That's what I talked to David Feldman about, and he really liked the idea, and I talked to him about it.
For bare knuckle, it's different because the pacing is so different.
Yes.
And
one thing I like it a lot for Elvin for bare knuckle is, if you're up 2 rounds to 0 in MMA, you could stall. You could try to, almost be on the ground. You can try to just, lay up and just hold. Bare knuckle, you can't do that. If you're down 2-0, right? The other guy's still coming after you, trying to knock your head off. Anyways, you can't stall in bare knuckle.
No. It's looked down upon.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that in bare knuckle, like being a huge help. Like I said, and it would definitely differentiate the sport. Having a scoreboard on the board.
Right.
But I'm like, I would be open to trying it in MMA too. Like I said, if anything, just so the fighters know where they're at as far as the fight is concerned.
Yes, sir.
That's because a lot of fighters end up upset after the fight because they didn't see the score, how the score was going. Or they thought the score was going a different way. So I definitely understand the argument for it. The only thing I would be worried about is this conformity on the judges, because a lot of the judges, especially if they don't know what they're doing, they'll just look up and be like, well, I guess that guy was supposed to win.
Right. You're right. That's a good point. We'll wrap it up with this. Elvin Brito, February 15th, Miami, Florida. Bare Knuckle live on pay-per-view. Check out bareknuckle.tv. Got all the content there. Kind of a fun question. I thought about it. If you had to go toe the line with any fighter, alive or dead, in the bare knuckle arena, who would you fight?
Who would I fight? Any fighter, alive or dead, huh?
Yes, sir. It's a dream fight, my man.
Dream fight, huh? Oh. Let's see. I think I'm over. You know what? I wouldn't mind finding Trinidad up there. Trinidad was a famous one-punch fighter here in Puerto Rico.
Yes, sir.
And I'm sure he'd be a devastating fighter in bare knuckle, and that would be an awesome fight, that Puerto Rican on Puerto Rican violence.
Wow, that would be insane. Wow. Real quick, last question. It's this Saturday, UFC 246. Who do you got, Cowboy or Conor?
Man, I like Cowboy. I like his legacy in fighting. I would like him to win. I can see Conor McGregor winning that fight.
Right. Okay. I do too. Conor has a really quiet confidence about him this week. Usually he's more,
outspoken. Yeah.
Right. Outspoken. He's showing up. He's doing this. I think his mind, to be honest, is on the next fight, and he knows he needs this W. I think in a way, he needs this win more than Cowboy Cerrone. So I think, I think Conor's going to get the job done. Round one, round two.
That hunger is huge, when it comes to the fights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I remember when I saw the fight with Manny Pacquiao versus Mayweather. As soon as Mayweather walked out, I was like, man, he wants it, Sometimes the guys, you could tell they want it more, man. It makes a huge difference,
You're right. That's the fight game. The fight game 2020. Elvin Brito, my man, continue success. We'll talk. I think we're going down there to Miami, Florida for Bare Knuckle FC 10. We'll definitely see you down there, my man.
I'll see you there, brother.
Yes, sir. I'll see you there. And continue success, and we'll talk to you in a minute, all right?
All right. Take care, brother.
All right.
Same to you.
Oh, great stuff right there with Elvin Brito. Man, his dream fight, I like that. He was really high on bare knuckle, and it was really interesting to see. He wants back in the cage in 2020. I love it. 3 fights in bare knuckle and 1 in MMA. That's a year. That would be a year for Elvin Brito. February 15th, Miami, Florida, bare knuckle. We cannot wait. An absolutely stacked card. That's the only way bare knuckle knows how to do it. Absolutely stacked. Great job there by Mr. Dave Feldman. Man, the man just got married as well. So congratulations. He's starting off 2020 in a bang. Man, very, very awesome. Bare Knuckle FC. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for subscribing to the Fight Bananas on YouTube and especially iHeartRadio. We see it. We see the numbers, man. We appreciate you guys. You're listening, downloading. You're telling your friends. You're telling your family members. You're telling your workout partners. You're telling your enemies because we see the whole world is downloaded. So we appreciate it, guys. This has been Dave Van Auken, Fight Bananas. Continue success. Stay blessed. Have a great weekend. Conor McGregor, Cowboy Cerrone, UFC 246. It's going to be bananas!